Good evening again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to the JRC, but first, the disclaimers. And also, I really do need to get another Vicks cough drop because I am so stuffed. I am not going outside again until I see double digits. Holy crap, this is kicking my butt. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are in the description box. Autistic Hoya's massive archive, where we pretty much get all of our material in regards to the JRC. Neuroclastics article that they wrote, where they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program, the same one that got so deep under the JRC skin they decided to threaten them with a defamation lawsuit. Of course, Neuroclastic didn't, because we're stubborn and we sincerely cannot be manipulated, bribed, or negotiated with. It's one of the things I actually admire about our kind. We're kind of all that way in our own ways. Not so fun, though, when you're dealing with. We won't get into that discussion again. I've had it ad nauseum today. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. Anyways, before anybody else decides to do something moronic that casts a whole bunch of stupid onto the autistic community in bulk again today. Alright. Trigger warnings. Trigger warnings indeed, but also we do have the link to the GoFundMe, because unlike the JRC, we don't have access to unlimited funds and unlimited resources, and considering what they are, even at $250,000 a head every school year, it is way too shady for such a small, singular school to have that much power and that much capital. I'm just saying. How it is they have unlimited funds continues to elude me. There are people that are billionaires of Musk's range that can literally have their funds run dry due to never-ending lawsuits. Just saying. When we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you will hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, please make sure to utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and watching this, parental supervision is advised. As previously stated, I am stuffed up. So all my vocal tics that come to haunt me when I'm stuffed up like this, more than likely is going to make its way through this headset into your ears. I apologize for it in advance. I would say that I tried to stop it, but it's usually subconscious and I don't even notice it until one of you mention it in the comments. And I do not know how to edit. Today's truly not the day to learn, so I apologize for that in advance, alright? Now, moving on to the next sentence. Because, yeah, we're going to have to go over medications. Again, because the JRC is dishonest and never tells you what those medications are actually prescribed for and what they actually do, because they're trying to use the shock factor. All these drugs, really, really harmful, really powerful, and they're still out of control, so they're not working. That argument doesn't hold water if you go through each and every single one of the medications named and find out that usually the bulk of them have nothing to do with solving anything in regards to self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior. That's going to be a long video, God help me. So, let's do this one hopefully fairly quickly. Alright, here we go. M was admitted to the JRC on 2 separate occasions. Because if once the torture doesn't succeed, try again. Right? Are they never going to tell these poor parents that they just need to do the full functional behavioral assessment, and the reason why these things are not working is because we don't know if the programs or day programs or community-based programs that they're getting sent to are going to actually help them in the areas where they actually need help in? Feel like someday magically it's going to be tattooed on my skin somewhere. Full functional behavioral assessment or get out of fucktown. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it in Latin or some Nordic runes or something. You know. God damn, I'm so tired of repeating myself. Okay. Prior to his first admission to JRC, multiple well-respected day programs and specialized programs attempted and failed to inhibit RM's SIB and AB with medications and curriculums that prioritize social communication and emotional regulation skills. They're going to make me say it again, aren't they? They're going to make me say it again. JRC, it does not matter how many schools you send these kids to. Yes, even the specialized and special credited ones with doctors with more letters behind their name than sense. It doesn't matter. Because it's not targeted. Because it can't be targeted. Because no full functional behavioral assessment has been conducted before sending these kids to any programs so that we can have a blueprint in front of the parents and the rest of the individuals that are helping the important information at hand to make decisions in regards to proper medication, proper therapy, psychiatry, neurology, social workers, caseworkers, direct care staff. Do you want me to go on? Because I can. The list is pretty goddamn long. The information gathered from that assessment is a foundation of literally everything. Literally everything. School, education, extracurricular activities, casework, social work, independent centers for independent living where additional help where they specialize in can come in. If you don't have that assessment done, you have no foundational information. If you do not have that extremely pertinent foundational information, you cannot make the best educated decision in regards to the overall and multifaceted, I might add, treatment program, as well as residential or community-based or day programs that are going to work best, essentially to cater to and work on that specific neurodivergence needs. You don't know. You have nothing. You are guessing. It's pinning the tail on the donkey while you're blindfolded with headphones, blasting Slayer's Rain of Blood at top volume. And handed a machete instead of a knife. Okay? But they specialize in social interactions and all of that. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right now. One of the things assessed from a proper, full functional behavioral assessment is exactly where a kid is at the time that the assessment is taking place. If, while that assessment is taking place, we are able to determine that there are more pertinent needs, situations, and areas that need help and need to be dealt with treatment set up for those things first before you try to send them anywhere. If you don't have the assessment, you're not going to know that, right? If there's some severe things going on that do require therapy, medication, some disturbing things that are showing you that right now is not going to be the best time to send a person, particularly an autistic, to a completely unknown place filled with strangers they've never met and try to get them in on how they run their programs before the very serious issues that are causing the most concern are properly dealt with or at least begin to start being worked on beforehand. Yeah, but we said it's a foundation. It's a foundation for everything. We're talking the developmental disability itself, determining if there is any pertinent, important mental health issues going on at the time that are going to need to be dealt with first before we go and completely rip the rug of that child's unknown, their whole world, out from underneath their feet. How do you think that's going to go? Honestly, how do you think that's going to go? Most of these kids start because they're causing trouble in public school by disturbing behaviors. There is no guarantee that those behaviors are just because the tism. I have mental health issues due to the abuse, as well as extreme anxiety, OCD, and clinical depression. The worst thing that probably could have happened, in particular in my tweens, would be to completely rip my whole known world out from underneath me like a rug and shove me in an entirely different place to even just a day program where I'm only going to be there 8 hours a day. That's still a change. I'm surrounded by complete strangers. I've never met these people before. Yeah, that would not have ended well. And more than likely, afterwards, I would have ended up in a psychiatric unit. I'm just saying. In particular, if there is something going on that the parents haven't catched. In particular, bullies. There are bullies that target autistic kids. There are bullies who beat the ever-living hell out of autistic kids. Usually, we don't say a word about it. We tell no one. Eventually, like a neurotypical would, we get angry. When we do get angry, you're going to see a meltdown. When that meltdown happens and you're dealing with just regular public school teachers and regular kids, you're going to scare the hell out of a lot of people. And depending on the brutality of the bully, while this is going on, there could be some mental health issues that develop because of it. So it is pertinent not just to blame everything on the goddamn TISM, and also by means of that assessment to look into if there's any mental health things that are extremely important and demand immediate attention before sending a kid into one of these day programs or any other programs. I don't care if they're specialized or not. We do not deal well with change. If we're having some type of mental health issue, the last thing on planet Earth that is a good idea for someone like me is while we're experiencing that and going through it with no idea how to process it correctly, and that you completely change everything about our world. Yes, even if it's only for a few hours a day. How do you think that's going to go? Yeah. Yeah. But these schools couldn't help anything. Of course they don't. How could they? You've given them no information. They don't have anything in front of them that can even give them hints to what may possibly be going on as to why they're unable to reach that kid, because the proper assessment and foundation was never done. It's just as important to the service providers, day programs, group homes. It's important to every single part of the service system. It informs everyone. Everyone. If you do not have it, you are literally robbing everyone. Everyone is literally just winging it. Yes, even specialized schools. They can only go on with the programs that they have that they specialize in. Okay? That's all they can do. And it's not their fault either when they can't reach those kids when you have given them nothing. Nothing. What do you expect them to do? Perform a miracle? Like do a seance and like channel Aristotle and Einstein? Hey, Einstein, it's rumored you're autistic. Could you like tell us what's going on here? No. The assessment provides the information that acts for the foundation for literally the entirety of the program. It provides pertinent information to the parents, to those of us receiving the services, to our teachers, our case managers, our social workers, our school counselors, our therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, neurologists, pediatricians. The list is literally endless. And if you do not do that assessment, then everybody is in the dark. That is why they don't know what to do and why they get so desperate. Why is it on the East Coast that somehow the concept of getting that assessment done first before services has never at any point dawned on them when we've been doing it out here in the Southwest since, my God, since 2000s. 2000s. It's also happening out in Oregon, Vegas, California, Nevada. This is supposed to be the East Coast. The East Coast is known to have the best progressive, high-ranking, award-winning schools in the United States. Whether it has to do with special education, public, or private. Are you really going to tell me, with all the information, over all the years and decades, that somehow the entirety of the East Coast, at least as far as I know, Massachusetts, New York, and Pennsylvania, that nobody has ever thought to actually do that assessment and get that foundational information first after diagnosis before doing this? You're stressing everyone out. Literally everyone out. You're stressing the kid out, making them go from environment to environment and environment. And by the way, speaking as an autistic who used to be a kid, how do you think we handle constantly failing? Through no fault of our own, but that's not what it feels like. It feels like no matter what we do or how hard we try, that we are just failing, which, by the way, does not help the behaviors any. It just heightens stress. And, well, hey, self-loathing at extremely young, vulnerable ages. Okay? These are supposed to be the most top-notch, progressive places in the United States. Are you really going to tell me that all these decorated, celebrated doctors do not understand the concept? Can't refer a single parent that before we start making any major medical, overall treatment, school program, whatever the case may be, that any of those decisions need to be made until after the assessment? Because if that is actually true, then they seriously do not deserve the reputation that they have, do they? I'm going to go ahead and close on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. Please, folks, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to utilize the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all here in a little bit. Bye-bye, everyone.